Hola, Shallonitos. Welcome to Mexico. Now, I said I was going to take some time off, but you know, there's just so many things happening that I can't just leave you high and dry. I mean, you need to know my opinion on things. And oh, I've got opinions on Colton Underwood, The Bachelor. And The Bachelor is what? Oh, The Bachelor is a professional straight man, right? Professional heterosexual coming out as gay, which, let me see, who called that? Ugh, that's right, it was me. It was me. I've said that, oh yeah, he was a virgin, all right, with women, which I actually don't even believe he was a virgin with women. I've said for a long time, like, that man is a homosexual, and everyone, nobody believed me. Some of you guys did, and you're like, no, I watched the season of The Bachelor, and I was like, that's homosexual. Like, good for him for being gay, but bad for him for going on a show where, again, he is a professional heterosexual. So today, I'm going to basically just shred Colton Underwood and maybe give a little advice. I really don't know yet. I haven't figured it out, but I'm so gassed up about this. I'm literally in Mexico. This pillow is not symmetrical and it's bothering me. It's a little better. A little bit better. And maybe we'll impart a little bit of advice. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about how to get over a betrayal. Now, we've talked about this recently though, but let's take it a little bit further. How to get over it when someone is like completely not who they said they were. How do you ever move on from that? And more importantly, how do you ever trust someone again? We're gonna get into it. But first, just wanna remind you guys to follow me on Instagram. I let you weigh in on topics and you can follow my Mexico adventures. Also, if you wanna shop some of my vacay looks, click the link down there in the bio. All these things are on my Amazon store and they're all really cheap. And just a quick word from our sponsor.
Shalligators, over the last year, most of us have spent a lot of time glued to our screens, whether it's Zoom meeting, mindlessly scrolling Instagram. We're not out and about like we were, but sometimes it's like your eyeballs are gonna melt out of your head and you just need a break from your screen. But that doesn't mean you don't wanna take your content with you. You want your playlist, your podcast, your Shallon videos. So if you're gonna be out and about, skip those AirPods. Expensive, they fall out, I can't do it. I go for Raycon. Now, you guys have heard me talk about Raycon before. The 6-hour playback, the noise isolating fit, the Bluetooth pairing. I mean, what's not to love? Here's what you might not know. Raycon is disrupting the electronics industry by designing premium wireless audio for half the price without compromise. They're doing things differently than other brands out there, from the way they design their products to the way they price them. Raycon offers their wireless earbuds in a wide variety of colors and patterns, plus a huge range of fit options so that they stay put. The company was founded by Ray J, and celebs like Brandy, Mike Tyson, Rich the Kid are all obsessed with Raycons, and girl, you know that I am too. Raycon offers a 45-day return policy, and guess what? You are going to get a discount just for being part of the Shallontourage. Head on over to buyraycon.com/ShallonXO to get 15% off your purchase. Sounds pretty good to me.
And if you need some sex tips, some hookup stuff, you know, with penises. Colton, would you like to watch these videos? Head on over to flays.com. It's our uncensored ad-free platform. Speaking of wieners, I'm not happy for you, Colton. I think you're an absolute monster. Here's the backstory. Colton Underwood was the Bachelor. And yeah, when I watched the season, I was like, that's a gay guy. Like, is anyone else fucking seeing this? That is a gay guy. Identifying a homosexual is crucial to us as straight women. I'm not even straight. I'm bisexual, you know? So, and I'm putting that out there. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I'm putting that out there to say that I do actually understand what it's like and how difficult it is to come to terms with your sexuality and stand in it and be like, this is who I am, even if your family doesn't like it, your church, your friends, your sorority sisters, whoever it might be. But you know what I didn't do while I was figuring it out? I didn't go on a television show, a national television show, and crow about being on one side or the other. I didn't drag 24 hopeful, easily broken hearts into my mess. And that is why Colton can go fuck himself. Here's what's going on. So he went on Good Morning America and talked to Robin Roberts, who herself is gay. So again, this is like Jordan Woods going on Red Table Talk and talking to Jada Pinkett Smith and playing the race card. Like, that's why everyone hated her after she tried to fuck her friend and employer's boyfriend, Tristan Thompson. Like, it's not because you're black, it's because you're shitty. And actually, you can be both of those things. You can be shitty in this color skin, that color skin, a wheelchair. You can be 6'5" and shitty. You can own a private plane and be shitty. You can actually be shitty no matter what. And Colton is very shitty. So I think it's interesting that he basically like doctor shopped, like went to exactly the right audience, right? And he's like, of course, he put himself in a victim narrative because what do manipulative people want? Pity. They want to be pitied. They don't want power, revenge, stuff like that. They want pity because pity is power. When someone feels sorry for you, oh, they're in a wheelchair. They didn't just call me a dirty cunt. Oh, it's okay. Maybe they did. He thinks that this pitiful persona he's putting on makes himself bulletproof to criticism. Honey, that shit don't work here, okay? And I'm not saying what he's saying is false. Well, some of it is. We'll get there. So he said, I ran from myself for a long time. The 29-year-old admitted, I've hated myself for a long time. Well, bro, now there's another one, me. I came to terms with that earlier this year and have been processing it. And the next step in all of this was sort of letting people know. He realized he was different at age 6. And now is the happiest and healthiest he's ever been, admitting he found himself in a dark and bad place before realizing the truth. Overall, the reason why now is because I got to a place where I would have rather died than say I'm gay. I don't understand that. And he implied that he contemplated suicide. There was a moment in LA that I woke up and didn't think I was going to wake up. I didn't have the intentions of waking up. I think for me, that was my wake-up call. Are you getting paid every time you use the word wake up? Underwood was last linked to Cassie Randolph, who took out a restraining order against him earlier this year. Cool. But he addressed her. I would like to say I'm sorry for how things ended. I messed up. I made a lot of bad choices. How things ended? Ended. Did they end with her realizing she had gone on a national television show, poured her heart and soul out, truly and really fallen in love with someone who was a con man? Now I know what you're saying. Shallon, maybe he just didn't know if he was gay. What year is it? What year was this? Like, let's say 2018, 2019? 2018, not 1818, where it was against the law to be a homosexual. It's not. It's actually not even really that special or interesting. It's not that unique. It's not that unusual. It's not wild and crazy to be gay. People are like turning their dick inside out and buying brand new vaginas. Cool, like do whatever you want. Be happy. I don't care. If you are 29, 27, and you don't know if you're gay or straight, you have no business dating. No business dating. You know Pete Buttigieg, who like ran for president? I really liked a lot of his ideas, but it always circled back to me that like that man did not come out of the closet till he was 32. I don't care if he's gay. My God, great. I would love to have a gay president. Like, not getting us into a million wars and all these pissing contests. Ugh, gay men above all. I have a problem with someone who is so out of touch with who they are, they think they can lead a nation. I have a real fucking problem with Colton Underwood. Real problem. You know why? Not because he's gay. I don't care. Go be gay. That's the thing. Go be gay. I have a problem with people who spend a life lying, gaslighting, victim narrativing, and blaming other people for seeing what is completely accurate. And then they finally admit the truth. They finally stop lying and they want some sort of parade. I mean, he has one. He has the gay pride parade. He can go to that. But he wants his own individual, like, yeah, you are so brave. You're not brave. Do you honestly think this dude knew he wasn't gay? He's been sleeping with men for years. That's usually an indication to most dudes when they like have a wiener in their mouth. They're like, I wonder what this means. It was a wake-up call for me when I found myself hooking up with chicks, and I'm like, I might not be straight as an arrow. The reason I have such a problem with this is not a gay or straight thing. It's a man-entitlement thing. How many times have women been in the position of, whoops, just the expected and necessary collateral damage on the way to a man's self-discovery? How many times have we been the thing, a broken, unself-aware, ridiculous, shallow, fucky man? Have we been the thing that they stepped on their way up? Thanks. Oh, sorry about it. Sorry, I'm like totally gay and I've been gay. Sorry that I was like, absolutely a coke addict. No, I know you said that I was, but I said that I wasn't. But I was. I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you so much for putting me through law school. I'm going to divorce you now. How many times have we seen that? How many times have we experienced that? I am fucking done giving people who do this and having the audacity to wrap it in a victim narrative. Like Colton here is the victim? He's the victim, not the 23, 24 women who went on national television to pour their guts out and curl their hair extensions every fucking night to vie for his heart, and they're like being real and they're bringing the realness, and he's lying. And he was not lying because he genuinely didn't know he was gay. He was lying for clout. That man is a malignant narcissist. That man, first of all, his suicidal threats are ridiculous. He would never. That man will do whatever he can to stay in the spotlight. How do we know this? How do we know this? First of all, if you weren't sure about your sexuality, let's say you weren't sure about your physical fitness. Let's say you weren't sure whether you could really run 5 miles, right? Would you try out for American Ninja Warrior? If they were like, you know what, let's just put you on the course. Let's just put her on the course, get the camera on her, it's gonna go live, she's gonna be fine. I'd be like, ooh, about that. You know, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. And there's no one else's heart involved. There's no one else's future. There's no one else's trauma involved in that. For Colton to be like, I'm going to be a professional straight person. I'm going to be so straight that it's my whole brand, being straight, having sex with the women. I love vulvas. I love them. For him to do that, extremely manipulative and extremely purposeful. He didn't seem to have any sort of pauses in his journey on The Bachelor of like, what am I doing? Should I be doing this? No, there was no self-doubt at all. It was, this is exactly where I want to be. I said, I am bisexual. I don't date women. Like, I hook up with girls. I like girls. I always call myself a party lesbian. Like, I like to hook up with girls. I don't like to date them. Why don't I like to date them? Because I'm not 100% sure that that's really where my heart would be. I've fallen in love only with men. And so I am not going to draw another woman into an unsure situation of mine. It's cruel. Because I would probably want to date a lesbian. I like Justin Bieber lesbians. I do. I think they're so pretty. Like, little boyish lesbians. But like, women who are like actually lesbians. And I'm not going to like draw them into my like, oh gee, I don't know. And like use their hearts as a pathway to more self-discovery. It's shitty. We've all had it done. You deserve absolutely no accolades when you reach the end of that journey. I'm sorry, and you being like gay or trans or whatever, you're like, ta-da, this is what I am. If you have hurt people along the way, fuck you. Fuck your self-discovery. You don't get a big, oh, yay. Just because it's like socially and politically correct to be like, well, they're gay, so you can't say anything. Shallon Lester can say something. I say something about anyone who's purposely hurting other people, and I'm sorry, this dude going on The Bachelor is purposely hurting people. I don't know that he was sitting there in his like, probably beautifully decorated because he's a homosexual house, being like, I'm just gonna go hurt a bunch of straight women. But does a drunk driver say that when they get behind the wheel? I'm gonna go run down a mom and her kid. No, it doesn't mean it's not possible. And it doesn't mean that on some level that drunk driver doesn't know it's possible. Of course they know it's possible. Of course Colton, who's been shagging men for years, knows that it's probably pretty likely girls are gonna fall in love with him. He's charming. Of course he's charming, he's gay. Who's more charming and debonair than a gay man? Nobody. He's handsome, he's hot. And they have all bought into the not tacit, overt construct that this guy wants to find a woman. So why would these women be holding back at all? At all. So for him to be like, gee, oh, whoops, fuck you, Colton, fuck you. You're the worst kind of monster. At least when I mean, I do it on purpose, and I let you know I'm doing it on purpose. You're like, gee, I don't know. You're an emotional drunk driver. Do you think anyone sees a drunk driver? It's like, oh, you hit that mom and kid in the carriage, but now you're sober? Oh my gosh. Did you hear that? Oh. They're like, you fucking better be, you piece of shit. Look, I'm not trying to shame drunk drivers. I mean, but is it not so different? No, he's not he's not hitting and killing people with his wiener out on The Bachelor. But these women are young. They're young. That poor girl named Cassie. I mean, her name is Cassie, for God's sakes. How tough can she possibly be? Like, Cassies are soft and sweet and blonde. They're like little Cocker Spaniels. And all these women were. They came there with pure intentions, right reasons. I'm here for the right reasons. Connection. Do you think this didn't traumatize that girl? How is she ever supposed to trust anyone again? And even worse, this is all playing out in public. Do you have any idea what people are probably saying to her right now? You're so dumb. You didn't know he was gay? I've never fucked a homo. Like, who knows what people are saying to her? Every worst fear that she's thinking about herself, I guarantee you someone on the internet is saying. And what has she done to deserve that? Nothing. But what people are saying to him is like, yay! No, not yay. Fuck you, Colton. You're a monster. You are a monster. You're a monster. And Cassie has to pick up the pieces of her life, as the rest of these women on this show did. I mean, they feel completely bamboozled and cuckolded. This was all playing out in public. Like, yeah, they're maybe influencers now. I'm an influencer. I didn't have to date a gay guy in public to get here. I just could do it. It's not really the price of admission. How is she ever supposed to trust somebody again? How is she supposed to trust her feelings? How is she supposed to trust what he's saying? Don't you think this guy gave her every assurance? Of course I love you. Of course I'm into you. Obviously, he flipped in a pretty big way. She filed a restraining order. They're not as easy to get as you think. They honestly aren't. Like, you kind of have to, like, prove it. So he was doing stuff that was pretty out of pocket. And you know what? Are we surprised? If he lives a life of complete duplicity, he's basically a con man. I watch a lot of shows about con men. I find them fascinating because I'm like always so terrified of like getting into a Ponzi scheme somehow. And a lot of them can become very violent. Like when their con is found out, it can become a really, really hairy situation for the person who uncovers it. Kind of got to wonder what happened with Cassie and what's his name? Who cares? Colton. So how do we get past this stuff? How do we get past it? You just do. I mean, I'm sorry. I know that this is like kind of dumb advice, but like you literally just do. If you go through life saying, I have trust issues, bitch, who doesn't? Who doesn't? No, I haven't dated a gay guy on national television, but it's not a contest. And this is what we kind of get into when we're in pain. Well, I've dealt with this. Well, I've dealt with that. Is this a contest? Is there a prize that I don't know about? Is it like a whole bunch of scratchers or a trophy that's made of pure milk chocolate underneath the gold foil? I'm not sure. I don't think there is, though. I think your prize for being the most damaged, the most weak, the most victimized is just a really shitty life. It's a shitty life. So what I want you to do is get a little perspective. You know what I'm going to say? Get out there and volunteer. Get out there and volunteer. Yeah, you probably had some hard knocks, some bad breaks. Absolutely. Who among us hasn't? But maybe it's good for you to see that some people have it really bad. I guarantee you, no one at a homeless shelter wants to hear a story about dating a gay guy. I don't think they do, actually. Kids in the cancer ward are going to be like, a rose ceremony? They're not going to care, babe. And that's good. That's good because it shows you that life goes on. I also want you guys to read about people who are resilient. I want you to read this book called The Obstacle is the Way. It's based on like the advice of the Stoics. Not Stoics with like the lowercase s, like she's a Stoic person, like the actual Stoics. Like Stoicism is a philosophical like niche, like a, not movement, what do you call it? Topic? Genre? Marcus Aurelius is a Stoic. There's Seneca is a Stoic. Aeschylus is a Stoic. I know, woo, all the hot ones. Who's not jerking off to Aeschylus? But it's a really good book where it's like, cowboy the fuck up. Bad things happen to you. Bad things happen to a lot of people. Here's how you can turn it into an advantage. Here's how you can shift your mindset from victim narrative to champion story, right? Trust also, it's just something that, first of all, it's something you can self-manufacture. We think that like he has to make me trust him. Yes, of course, we always have to keep a hold of our red flags. I guarantee you Cassie saw red flags, maybe not of him being gay because she is young and she might not know, but of him being potentially violent. If that's what he was, if that's why she filed the restraining order, I don't know that there is another reason to get a restraining order. Like, you know, it's usually I'm in danger, not like he's just writing me poem after poem. Like, judge is like, I don't think so. It's terrible, but I don't think so. So I want you to look for those red flags, right? I want you to go back and do that emotional autopsy we talk about all the time. Even if it's gross, even if it's cringy, just like a real autopsy, you want to be able to be like, okay, this isn't a setback, it's a setup. I'm not bitter, I'm better. I'm learning from this, I'm growing. What am I getting out of this? But at the end of the day, trust is just, you just do it. You just do it. You just put yourself back out there and you're like, okay, I'm gonna trust. But I'm gonna trust this time with my eyes open because I'm not desperate to have a man, like maybe I was when I went on The Bachelor because I thought I needed a man at 23 because my parents got married at 24. I'm not gonna do that. I've made some growth. I've learned from some red flags. That feeling in my tummy wasn't butterflies. It was my intuition saying, that's not good. That's not good that he knows the entire score to Mamma Mia. That's not good that he threw a vase against the wall when I wanted to watch The Queen's Gambit. That's not good. And now I'm going to go into this imbued with a sense of, not a sense of, but the unshakable knowledge that I will survive. I'll survive. Okay? Turns out to be a bad thing. I'll survive. I've survived this. What could be worse than this? I will go on and I will survive. Because at the end of the day, what other choice do we have, man? What other choice? I mean, really, what other choice do we have? We pick ourselves up, we go on, or we lay down and we die, and we retire from the game of love at 26, 36 even, 46? No, you pick yourself up and you go back on because you know that you're resilient, and resilience is the foundation of happiness. I talk way more about this in this week's podcast. Go check it out. The Girl on Top podcast, available any place you find podcasts. I want to know your thoughts on Colton. Are you happy for him? I'm not. Have you ever dated a gay guy? Have you been questioning your sexuality, and did you date a lot to get more data, or did you stay home and kind of figure it out? I want to know. We'll see you next time, Shalligators. Adios, mi amors. Mwah!